My desire in this sort of conversation isn't to sell anything at all, but to maybe give them some actionable insights or point them in a different direction if what I'm providing isn't right for them. We all are here, in my belief, to help others in one way or another. It doesn't have to be me, but I might be able to give them some insights that can change their lives. And what's the downside of that?
Welcome back to our Happy Rainmakers video series where point one can make a difference. I'm really lucky to be joined by Scott Mason, the Myth Slayer. Hi, Scott.
Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Are there ever clients you work with who need to obtain additional training or education in order to do the thing that they're trying to do?
Many times people that became lawyers had success from an early age due to credentialization, due to being in honor society or in a top tier undergrad and then later law school. And there can be a mentality that credentials are what you need in order to bolster your credibility within a new life phase or to do what you want to. I work very carefully with the clients to understand whether that's really necessary or not. So, for instance, my first post-law career wasn't as a coach, what I am right now. It was as the co-owner of a manufacturing company. I didn't go back and get an MBA. I didn't go back and get any of the number of certifications that I could have gotten. I simply used this powerful degree that we have, one of the most respected ones that there is, a JD. And make no mistake, that is viewed as more credentializing than practically any certification that there is. And no one that we did business with cared that I didn't have an MBA. There are 5 types of internal narratives that are toxic. The toxic myths is what I call them. And the belief that you need to get endless certifications in order to quantify your abilities and the possibilities for yourself falls well within one of those. So we address that ASAP, and it is supportively and lovingly reinforced as the coaching goes on, because that can be a fallback that people have when you're scared, when you think you can't do something. We sometimes revert to behaviors that were successful when we were younger, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those behaviors are going to be effective as we move into a different place. We have a whole module that is focused on networking. And if they don't know how to network, because let's say you were someone who was super scholarly and you were an excellent writer and your job at your law firm was sitting in a room doing research and writing brief sections on arcane legal topics. I mean, that sort of thing happens to people. They don't need to network because that's not where their value to their employer was found. That's cool. I teach you how. Also, just as a collateral benefit of working with your homeboy here, I love to network, and I've been networking for a long time. And one thing that helps if you build a network is if the keys to open someone else's network are freely given to you, so you don't have to pound the pavement all alone. So you have access to my network as well as instruction on how to do that.
So one last question. I think this is really helpful. And I think a lot of people who would watch and say, you know what, I hate being a lawyer, but there's no way out. I have too many expenses, or I don't have time to get an MBA. I think we've addressed all of those questions. What about if I have a friend or a family member or a spouse who I think could really use your help, but it's my idea and not theirs? Is that ever successful, or does it have to be the client, him or herself, who wants it?
It can be successful, but I want to, before such a referral occurs, to just give one piece of advice. If you know someone that you think could benefit from this, ask them a little bit about what exploration they have done, either in the personal development space or in the career transition space. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, but for instance, have you ever joined a Toastmasters group? That's a personal development program. Have you ever listened to a career change podcast? Do you follow some people on LinkedIn? Who are those people that you follow on LinkedIn? Have you ever watched YouTube videos? or read a book or anything like this, if they have never been involved in any sort of personal change program or have expressed no interest in inside or career change whatsoever, it may not be the most effective referral. You just probably want to suggest it to them and say, if and when you are ready to talk about this, I know the right person to help you. If, on the other hand, the answer is yes, or you just know that they have because you know them, or they've explicitly said, I'm looking for a change, but I just don't want to go from working in a law firm to being in-house, have them reach out to me, or you can reach out to me yourself with an intro. And then you can say something like, Scott, are you willing to have a conversation? My approach to talking to people is truly, Jennifer, and I cannot emphasize this enough, one based in service. What I'll do is I'll set up an hour-and-a-half conversation with them in which we talk about where they are, what their dreams are, what their goals are. My desire in this sort of conversation isn't to sell anything at all, but to maybe give them some actionable insights or point them in a different direction if what I'm providing isn't right for them. We all are here, in my belief, to help others in one way or another. It doesn't have to be me, but I might be able to give them some insights that can change their lives. And what's the downside of that?
Thank you so much for all of the information. And under this video, you can find how to contact Scott if it's something that you want to pursue. Thanks.